Yo, what's up? This is a very shortened happy hour because in 1 hour, Derek Allgood from the Billy Madison Show on 99.5 Kiss Rocks in San Antonio and here on 102.5 The Bone. And I say here because I'm doing the show in the Cox Media production building, but where I work in promotions on 102.5 The Bone, Derek Allgood from the Billy Madison Show will be calling in. And I just don't think today is the time and place to do like a rant, just a whole hour of me talking about the news. What was I going to talk about? Joey Votto, the player from the Cincinnati Reds, not signing a kid's autograph, and I would have been edgy. Wow, he's a douchebag. I'll save my rants for next week. I need to change my act here. I need to get humble. I need to quit being cocky. And I wouldn't even say I have an ego per se. I was talking to a few people about it. It's the fact that I didn't grow up with any siblings, and I will get to the point about why I'm talking about myself right now. I didn't have any siblings growing up, so a lot of time was me sitting in my room listening to the radio, or me going to the library listening to internet radio. So this is what I like to do. I have a lot of fun doing this. I put all my passion into this. But what happens is, with the very little success I've had so far, and I'm saying it because it's very marginal success compared to other people in radio, but the very little success I've achieved so far, it really is getting to my head. Let me set it up, because people may not be in Tampa Bay where they can listen to 102.5 The Bone. They might be in Cleveland listening, or the ROC, Louisville, Portland, where I get to listen. I have Tyson Monroe as the new correspondent and co-host for Happy Hour every Monday. And he's also on The Broken Table, which is a part of the Crowded Channel Network, with John Senning, Jay Karen, and Dennis Walker. And I wouldn't say I was threatened by the show, but I view it as my competition, because it is. But at the same time, podcasts need to come together and be a family, which is what every podcast but Happy Hour was doing. And here's what happened. And I look back on what I told Tyson on Monday to do, out of my mind. My ego was out of control. I said to Tyson, because he's on The Broken Table, which is a part of the Crowded Channel, I said, don't mention The Crowded Table because I want to win Best Local Podcast again this year. Yeah, I said that. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not a sociopath, but that's something out of the playbook of narcissism. I have a family member that has it. And that's the exact same thing. I've seen people on radio that have narcissism. That's what they would do. Listen. I don't even know why I decided to do that. It made for good radio when me and John Senning were going at it on Drew Garabo's show in the afternoon. But I didn't feel like myself when I was going after Senning on air. John Senning is one of the realest dudes in this town. John Senning, Jay Karen, and Dennis are really good dudes. I would consider them friends. I would hope they would consider me friends. I had great times working at West Shore Pizza, South Side, off 54th Avenue, with Jay Karen. The days he was there, the 5 months I was at the pizza shop, were the days that work went by fast. I have great memories of when Dennis was in the promotions department, of doing events with him, and I thoroughly enjoy being around John Senning. So when I said to Tyson Monroe to not mention The Crowded Table, a part of me was like, is this narcissism? But in the moment, I'm like, no. It's because I got to win Best Local Podcast, damn it. It's so important. The Tampa Bay podcast community. The hell's wrong with me? I mean, if you look at what's going on in the world, people are dying right now in Syria. We have 2 pieces of dirt that are running for president. Things are crumbling by the minute. But I'm here freaking out because I potentially might lose the position as Best Local Podcast here in Tampa. I wouldn't say I'm embarrassed because I can't take back the past of saying to Tyson, don't bring up The Crowded Table. But I think this whole podcast thing, it's a show where I'm talking by myself for an hour. It's a show called Happy Hour. And it brings in sponsors. It brings in a decent amount of listens. The ultimate goal is I want to make it in radio. That's one of the things. Is I want to be Howard. I want to be Opie. I want to be Kelta. I want to be on the bone. I want to be a guy that's respected in radio. I don't always want to be the punching bag. I don't always want to be the guy that they make fun of. I get that's how radio begins, but I think I need to kind of calm down my ego and appreciate what I have right now. So that's kind of what happened when my ego got out of control and that whole thing happened, which is the clip of the day, which you can see on theboneonline.com. I'm not ashamed of it. But I will say this, and this is what irked me about the argument with John Senning, and I've been told this before, so it has nothing to do with John. Nothing. Has nothing to do with the crowded table. It has nothing. It's not just them that have said this. Had various people say this term to me. I've had various people tweet this at me. My former job says this. A lot of people think that because I'm awkward in public and I'm not the same behind the mic all the time, that I'm fake. That I'm putting on this shock jock persona where I'm a tough guy. Yeah. I'm so edgy, and spoken. I'm a shock jock. You can call me the R word. You can call me an imbecile. You can call me a loser. You can call me Franken. You can call me a weirdo. Whatever. But there is nothing more demeaning in this business. It's like when you go up to a girl in porn and you call her a whore. There is nothing more demeaning than when you call somebody in radio a shock jock. It's a term from the 90s to describe what Opie and Anthony, Howard, Mancow, all those guys were doing when there wasn't the internet where you could watch, I don't know, horse porn, and there wasn't the internet where you could watch Two Girls, One Cup. So when you heard Opie and Anthony or Mancow or Howard talk to these girls in porn or be outspoken, it was shocking. And the media came up with the word shock jock. Trust me when I say, what you get out of happy hour is me. It's just me comfortable in the zone. I'm not in a social situation. I feel at ease. I never, ever say anything on the show to spark outrage. There are talk shows. There are sport debate shows. There are plenty of radio shows, not in this market, but there's plenty of shows that are scripted where they go, take this side, let's argue. Take this side, you say that wacky line to piss people off, and you say that, and let's go. Now, just because I'm awkward in public and I'm not as outspoken behind the mic, I have prep when it comes to the show. I look up the news, I go to Huffington Post, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the Daily Mail. What I'm getting at is what I say is what I feel. It's a bit outspoken. My friends can attest to the fact that when I'm in the zone and I'm comfortable at bars, I'm sometimes a little bit too loud. Maybe even in the workplace, I'm a little bit too loud. And I'm trying to work on that. Trying to work on my tone as I'm screaming into the mic. What I'm getting at is I have never, and I promise you, I may have been a phony. I may have been an imbecile when I didn't want Tyson Monroe to bring up the crowded channel with John Senning, Jake Heron, and Dennis Walker. I may have been really self-centered and much of a narcissist that day when I chose to have Tyson do that. But trust me when I say I have never, ever said anything on this show, and I have never, ever spewed anything on Happy Hour or when I was on Rover's show, or whenever I'm on the bone, whenever I speak my mind, I have never said something just to rile people up. It's what comes to my ADHD-filled mind. I am not a phony, and I actually really don't look up to the TV media, to the fact that they say things to spark outrage and fear. My ultimate goal with this show, and I said this during the argument, and I truly mean it. Maybe I'm cocky for wanting to be the next Howard. Maybe I'm cocky for wanting to be the next Opie, or Mancow, or Eddie Angelbo, or Jonathan Brandmeier, or Adam Carolla. All the shock jocks I looked up to. Maybe I'm crazy with my speech impediment and my Midwest twang and my goofiness and how I'm not always the same on air and off air. Maybe it's crazy that I want to be them, but that's what I've wanted to do since 2004. And my ultimate key is I need to calm down. I now want you guys to check out other shows, Because if you listen to this podcast, you're just going to become a disgruntled 23-year-old, 22 going on 23-year-old dude who's going to be mad about things 24/7. Listen to the Scrum Sports. Listen to the Sex I'm Not Having, the Crowded Table, any podcast. Don't just listen to me. I do believe I'm the best podcast in the Bay, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be checking out other shows. I really felt like an imbecile during that argument with John Senning, one of my good friends. I really did not feel like myself during that. It brought good radio. People were entertained. There was plenty of mean messages that came my way on Facebook. But trust me when I say, every time I talk into the mic and every time I rant, I do it to truly express the way I feel. If I was a shock jock, I would be doing a rant every day saying that Kanye West is a douche and that Taylor Swift is an imbecile and Kim Kardashian's a whore. No. I used to do that radio at WNUR in Chicago. I don't do that anymore. What I say is what I feel. All I'm saying. Now for the quick plug. After trying to defend myself and not come off cocky, I then plug myself, so maybe I am cocky. If after this rant, for some reason you think I'm the best podcast in Tampa Bay, go to tinyurl.com/vote for happy hour. It's tinyurl.com/vote for happy hour. There you can click best radio personality, Ryan Hoppe. I'm basically under every category, which is flattering, but the one obviously I care about is best local podcast. But trying to figure out what I want to do, because I've been humbled out. I feel bad. It wasn't me, but I do think I'm the best, but everybody thinks they're the best. Anna Hummel and the Sex I'm Not Having would think she's the best. John Senning, Jake Aaron, Dennis Walker, they think they're the best. When you're in this business, you have to think you're the best to keep on grinding. But the decision I made that wasn't smart was I let it get to my head where I didn't want other shows to be promoted. Please check out the Crowded Channel. Please check out the Scrum Sports, the Sex I'm Not Having, any other show I'm not naming. Corey Cardinal's podcast with Nervous Jared. Please check it out, all right? I know people don't know what to think of me. From Cleveland radio to Tampa radio to meeting me in public, maybe when I'm on little sleep and I'm awkward and my speech impediment's there, people may not know what to think of me if they're listening from high school and I used to have the worst speech impediment. Trust me when I say, when I'm doing this show, right now, trust me when I say, this is me in my best element because I'm not around people trying to overcompensate and fit in. Trust me when I say, when I do this show called Happy Hour, this is me. It's not a robotic shock jock version of me. It's not me trying to fit in. This is when I feel at ease, is when I'm given this great opportunity to record my show after hours in the production room at work. This is when I'm at my pure happiness. This is when I feel good, is when I do this show. So Happy Hour and this Ryan Hoppe is the true Ryan Hoppe. I will work on being more humble. And I will work on not being so self-centered because it comes from not having any siblings and being kind of a bratty kid growing up. I am going to work on being the best person I can be. And I know words speak louder than, or actions speak louder than words. And you can sit here and say, it's the same old Hoppe, just spewing garbage. It's the same old Hoppe, just talking about himself. Trust me, time is flying. I'm going to be 23. I'm not trying to make this a deep post. I'm not trying to be Joel Osteen or Billy Graham. Well, life's short. Does the Best in the Bay contest really matter? I wish I could have told myself that on Monday. But at least I know 4 days later and not 4 months later when I'd be mad if I potentially didn't win. Please listen to other podcasts. And this is the true me. All right. Here's the deal. I'm going to be having Derek Allgood from the Billy Madison Show on 99.5 Kiss Rocks in San Antonio and 102.5 The Bone in Tampa Bay and various other markets. He will be on the show in about a half an hour, but I record my interviews on demand and then upload them. So to listen, it's not hard. Get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop. Search up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. Go to tinyurl.com/vote for Hoppe Hour, blah, blah, blah. RyanHoppeRadio.com. RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. That's about it. You can go to tinyurl.com/Hoppe Hour decal. You can get decals. Simply prepaid of T-Mobile, 727-331-1934. Call them. Tell them I sent you for a badass deal. My great sponsor, Patrick McVicker. And I love when I say that, my great sponsor. People think I have a drinking problem or a drug problem. No. It's my show sponsor. There was this one time I was talking to Tyson in the hallway. And I was like, yeah, I had a really fun weekend. I got a few drinks from my sponsor. And he looked at me like, huh? And I was like, no. The sponsor of Hoppe Hour. No. I'm not an AA. Nothing wrong with being an AA. I don't have a drinking problem. So it's my show sponsor. Simply prepaid at T-Mobile and Gulfport, 727-331-1934. All right. I'm going to end this show. Get ready for the interview with Derek Allgood, the BMS show. It just feels good to let this out. I've been really uptight all week. I've been unable to operate, essentially, because I felt really bad about everything that went down. And if the Mike Kelta Punch-Out will be going down, I will be partaking in it. So I cannot wait. Once again, check out the Crowded channel with Jay Karen, John Senning, and Dennis Walker. And don't just listen to me, because if not, you're going to become an uptight goofball that's really awkward and trips over himself in public places. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour after this. Hang on.